I'm in a race that doesn't exist. The system was designed in a way that did not promote everything that it was telling me to do. It was actually backwards.
Right.
And so ultimately, the lessons that I've learned, I'm super passionate about, and I want to pretty much just expose the truth. And I think that we're 100% on the same page.
Right.
If you follow something that's created that isn't designed for you to succeed, you've already failed before you started.
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you, as always, for joining me. I have a special guest today, and I have a special announcement. Stacy-Ann Henry, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Greg.
Why don't you tell them who you are?
So, I'm your cousin.
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh. And also a part of our program.
I sure am.
Yeah.
I am a proud Platinum Mastermind member.
Okay.
I have started, well, I call myself a fan. I've started following the movement SSPT from the beginning days, and I've watched people grow into millionaires, but also just have a level of peace and satisfaction with what they're doing and fall fully into their purpose.
Yeah.
And so I've been all in, but I'm officially all in.
All in. And in a very short period of time, we've actually built an asset.
Yeah.
And one of those assets is this. It's, if you guys can't see it, if you're listening to the podcast, it is a book, and it's called Exposing the Truth, the Financial Freedom Scam. They sold you a dream. You paid the price. Stacy and I have co-authored this book, and I have to give Stacy her flowers. She basically has done the majority of the work. I just did, I think, 2 chapters or something like that, right? I think
more than 2.
It's still more than 2. Okay, all right. But let's talk about it. What I have my reasons for wanting to be a part of the book, but I would love to hear your reasons for wanting to write this book.
Yeah. So my whole life, I was taught the same thing that most of us were taught. You know, we're going to work hard, we're going to grind, we're going to get straight A's, we're going to do everything that we need to do, and the stars will align.
Right.
And lo and behold, I found myself completely out of alignment. And I would ask myself, why am I living paycheck to paycheck? I did everything I was supposed to do.
Right.
And ultimately what it came down to was following a script that wasn't for me.
Right.
I'm in a race that doesn't exist. The system was designed in a way that did not promote everything that it was telling me to do. It was actually backwards.
Right.
And so ultimately, the lessons that I've learned, I'm super passionate about, and I want to pretty much just expose the truth. And I think that we're 100% on the same page.
Right.
If you follow something that's created that isn't designed for you to succeed, you've already failed before you started.
Right. And, you know, I think if you piggyback on that, even if you try really hard, you fail. So you fail before you start. You try really hard, you fail. There is no scenario that you don't fail and you don't get to where you want to get to. For me, I wanted to be a part of it because of everything you just said. And I felt like there were a lot of big ahas for me over the last, 25, 30 years of understanding the financial game and understanding how it is that I've been able to get ahead, to achieve a certain level of success, financially, which has led to a lot of other amazing things. And I just knew that, you know what, I didn't start here, and I had to learn a lot of things. And I feel like awareness is the biggest thing. Like my life has changed from awareness. It hasn't changed and with awareness, then I learned how to do things, and then you had to be disciplined, right?
Yes.
But how, I didn't even know, because we're all disciplined.
Yeah.
Like you're disciplined to get the straight A's.
Yes.
I mean, you're disciplined to go to UF, and you went to, University of Florida.
Yes.
You're disciplined to get your master's.
Absolutely.
So we're all disciplined when
Yes.
we want to be disciplined.
Yes.
But if we don't know what things we should be disciplined in order for it to bear fruit,
right,
then that becomes a problem. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. I'm really grateful and thankful. And I think this is going to help a lot of people. So let's talk about some of the things that are talked about in the book. All right. The book's going to be coming out really soon, and we'll give you guys a chance to be able to pre-order it. But one of the things we talk about is the opportunity what is the opportunity cost of delaying investment? And I kind of have my take on it. Do you have any takes on it that you want to you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I spent so many years trying to be debt free. That was the goal.
Right.
You know, true financial freedom can only be accomplished when you have zero debt and now you're free. You can live your life. So that philosophy caused me to miss out on investment opportunities. A 401k through a company is completely different than investing in a business, investing in the stock market, investing in myself, different skills that I could, you know, fine tune, or just the right type of debt is important. It's okay if it's smart, if it's controlled.
Yeah.
And so the opportunity cost, you're constantly thinking, well, I can't do that because then I'm in debt. You know, that's wrong. But a lot of times it's healthy. It's the way to true freedom.
Right. I think one of the big things for me is understanding there's a difference between earned income and passive income, right? So there's income that I can only get if I do something. And then there's income that I get because I built something.
Yes.
Right. So in both of them, they require investing. And the reality is that I realized I could never save my way to actually learning how to build the skills to gain more earned income, or to build the skills to create more assets that were going to give me passive income.
There you go.
And I had to invest. Yes. And at least for me, a lot of the times when I invested, I had to go into debt. And just like you, I was trained that you can't do that. You can't go into debt. And I wasted, you know, quite a bit of time because I was trying to earn my way to having enough money so that I can invest in those skills or build those assets. And I realized it was never going to happen. So what I did is I just kind of did OPP. I did other, you know, people's platforms, other people's money with banks. I leveraged things that I had, my home, in order to get the money that I needed. And yes, I did take a step down and take a step back, but I used that money to be able to build those skills and to be able to build those assets. And then once my earned income started to take off, I was able to invest even more of those assets and then pay the debt off that I had from it. So yeah, that's what, to me, the whole thing of investing and opportunity costs like truly mean. You know, it's really huge. All right, let's talk about one other thing that we talked about in the book, and is all debt bad? What have you learned now through mentors, whether it's myself or other people? Is all debt truly bad in your eyes?
No. And I mean, it doesn't take a master's degree, you know. Like you said, it starts with awareness, understanding. You know, you can have mentors, business coaches like I have with you that can counsel you and actually help you make the right decisions. You know, even family and friends that have done it, you can consult with, but you can't fear it. You can't fear it, and you can't let it restrict you from actually making healthy decisions financially.
You know, there is, people say good debt and bad debt. And so this is how I look at it. The bad debt is when I am spending money, and money that I don't have, and I'm using that money via credit cards, via loans, on things that cannot potentially make me more money in the future, right? So that's clothes. Unless I'm a model, it really not gonna make me any money. You know, shoes. Unless I'm a basketball player or a track athlete, it's really not a huge thing in making me money in the future, right? I mean, even a house, you know, a house, I know that, like, you know, we all want a house, and that's kind of like the American dream. But if the house doesn't have the potential to make me money in the future, you know, that's not the greatest debt to have. But there are other things that are things that I had been willing to go into debt for, that had the potential to make me money in the future. By the way, not all of them worked. Okay. Not all of them worked. But I initially, in 2005, when I started, I went into debt for Forex currency investment. It ended up being a Ponzi scheme. I lost $20,000, right? I went into debt for real estate property that was going to be an investment in Valrico, Florida. I actually lost the property and it ended up not working out. And I also went into debt for a business that I started as a physical therapy, business. And that business has gone on to make me like tens of millions of dollars, close to $35 million. So all it takes is for one. Like all it takes is to get one hit, right? Yeah. You get one hit. And then I learned a lot of things from that business. And then other businesses have stacked upon that over the years, right?
Yeah.
Consulting, software company, real estate and all the other stuff. So the reality is that debt that I went into, which is $180,000 worth of debt, well, it was about 3 years later, I was able to pay off all of that $180,000 and then has so much more. And I would have never been able to do that had I not gone into debt.
Yeah.
So I think we just have to kind of recalibrate what it is. And then we have to ask this, what is the system doing to us?
Yeah.
Now, think about the system, right? Mm-hmm. The system has no problem with making us go into debt with school.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They have no problem having 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds go into $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 worth of debt.
Yes.
So that we can earn income in a traditional way.
Yeah.
But they won't give us money for us to start our own business.
Yeah.
So you have to just understand that the system is set up for you to always be reliant on the system.
Exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so we just have to ask ourselves, is the system not giving us debt to use? Yeah, it's giving us debt to use.
Yeah.
But they give us the debt that they want us to use.
Right.
They just don't give us the debt that can actually empower us.
Yes.
So then we don't have to rely on the system.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about something I think you talked about in the middle of the book about financial alignment and what that truly looks like. So give me your take on it, and then I'll tell you what I think as well.
Yeah, like when you think about just using the analogy in the book, a museum of unlived lives, right? Mm. And if you were to look back and there were 3 versions of yourself, which one would you say you were? The wealthy, you had money, you were in that wealthy category, but at the same time, you were miserable, right. You're exhausted, right. You're burnt out. Or the poor version, right? Which you're happy with friends and family, but you're paycheck to paycheck, maybe even coming up short, can't make ends meet, or the aligned you, right? So you may not be the richest, but at the same time, you have peace, you have energy, you're not stressing about bills, and you still have time to spend quality time with your friends and your family.
Yeah.
So when I think about this museum, most people don't come close to the aligned you.
Right.
As a matter of fact, a majority of people fall into this category of the poor, because we're stuck in a system that wasn't built for us. We were scammed. It was a con. Right. And people are still bought in. Right. And so the only way out is to truly, like you said, have that awareness and be determined to be the aligned you.
Right.
So when you look back, you're in this museum and the version of you that you see isn't an unlived life, right. And we can live it. We can choose that for ourselves, but it starts with understanding what's really happening and understanding what the actual truth is.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. I think it's simple multiplication. You can be wealthy. We're going to say that you are a millionaire, so $1 million, and you can be emotionally bankrupt. So 1 million is what your wealth is, but you have 0, like emotional health, mental health, spiritual health. 1 million times 0 equals 0.
There you go.
You can have amazing friends, amazing family, but you're so stressed money-wise and you are at 0, negative, and you're broke. Yeah. And yes, you have good people in your life, but every day you're tormented because these people, you can't give them the life that they deserve. You haven't created a pathway for them. You haven't, you just feel like you're barely scraping by. So you have 1 million when it comes to your relationships and your family, but you're 0 here. 1 million times 0 is 0. So maybe you have $200,000 that you make a year, but you're in alignment, and you have $200,000 worth of mental and emotional and physical and spiritual health. Well, 200,000 times 200,000 is just a lot of money. I don't even know what it is. I know it's like 40 million, 40 billion, something. It's something like that. I just know it's a lot.
It's priceless.
It's priceless. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think it's important that we have a certain level of alignment. You know, we want to have peace. We want to have clarity. We want to be spiritually full.
Yes.
And, you know, we want to be emotionally regulated. Yes. And at the same time, we don't want to be broke. No. We want to have, when you are spiritually, emotionally, and mentally full, typically that means you want to be a really good steward and help others.
Yes.
And the reality is that we live in a world where the only way you're going to help people is with your time, or with money.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that most of the time, if you're going to help them with time, you're going to need money, so you can use the money to buy it at that time.
That's so true.
And if you're going to help them with money, you're going to need money you're getting extra money to use the money so that you have money to help others, and you have money to also take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what financial alignment looks like. I think we have to look at both, and we don't want to be in any extreme.
Right. Right.
But we need to just understand that not everything's important in life, but having financial health is good. Having emotional health is good too. And having spiritual health is extremely good.
Yes.
Right. And having physical health is important too,
Yes.
because, you know, like, it's our temple, right?
Yeah.
So all of those things are important. They're super important. Okay, let's talk about the empty box. The empty box.
The empty box. So one of the hardest thoughts, you know, and we talk about this in the book, but one of the hardest thoughts where you kind of choke up even bringing up the death of a parent, the death of any loved one, even of a friend, anybody that you care about, is so hard. But a lot of times what we see in families is that when someone passes away, their family is mourning, but on top of the mourning, their family has inherited, unfortunately, either nothing or debt. They've inherited. It's like getting an empty box. You know, if you're sitting there and you're opening a box and there's nothing in it. But even worse, there's unpaid bills. There are faded photographs. There are things that have no value, versus being left with wisdom, knowledge, a head start, something, you know. And a lot of times what we're finding is people are thinking legacy, oh, well, it's after I'm gone. No, it's right now. Right. It's what you're building right now, you know. And so although it may seem uncomfortable, if you shift from thinking of it from a standpoint of death and despair, but moving that into life and living in a way that you know that what you're leaving behind is going to pivot the people that you love into that next level where they need to be. It changes your whole mindset of the decisions that you're making right now, today.
Yeah. That's what you're doing with this book.
Yeah.
The book is something that, if, God forbid, you or I passed away, we're leaving for our kids.
Yes.
And we're leaving for our kids' kids.
Yes.
And we're leaving it not just for our kids, but we're leaving it for our families and our extended families. Yeah. And we're leaving it for our community. And that is making sure that you have a box that actually has something in it. Right? And so that box doesn't have to just be money. That box doesn't have to be just real estate.
Right.
That box can be guidance. It can be a map.
Yes.
It can be a blueprint. You know, I mean, I know when I go to, I haven't gone in a while, but when I go to a theme park like Disney World or whatnot, first thing I want to enjoy my experience at Disney World is I want that map.
There it is.
I want them up. I want to know where's Tomorrowland?
Yep.
Where's Frontierland? Where's Space Mountain?
Yes.
Where's this one?
You know you're here. You know where you are.
And it shows you. It says you are here.
Right there. Yes.
You are here. And now I know this is where I want to go. And so these are all assets. These are all things that you can put in your box.
Yes.
So that your family can get a head start potentially, so that there can be direction and there can be guidance, and you're not taking everything that you do is not in vain now.
Yes.
Every mistake I've made is not in vain.
Yeah.
The minute I'm willing to share it and I'm willing to systematize it and I'm willing to say, okay, now it's to the public. Now I can put one more thing in my box.
Yes.
You are leaving a lasting legacy.
Yes.
You know, and so I feel like for everyone, not everyone is going to be financially, free. Like, I mean, that's just reality, right? Not everyone, because not everyone understands, but everyone can leave something.
Yes.
Everyone can leave something. I think it's very sad, but most don't leave anything.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that this book is our way of leaving one more thing.
Yes.
And I hope that this book, gives people a lot of guidance, and I hope it gives a lot of direction, and I hope it changes lives. I hope it creates, and I think you can change lives with just awareness.
100%.
Well, thank you for allowing me to co-author this book with you.
Yes.
And I'm excited for it to come out. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.